In this HVAC training video, we're going over checking the charge of an R-410A air conditioner, and we're going to be going over 4 scenarios using the subcooling method because this system has a thermostatic expansion valve at the indoor unit. Now we're going to assume we've already checked the airflow and that's correct, and we're just going over these 4 scenarios. I'm going to explain scenario 1 to tell you if we're undercharged, correctly charged, or overcharged, and then in scenarios 2, 3, and 4 you can pause the video and determine the charge level yourself. I'm going to explain it as I go. To check the charge, we have our blue gauge connected to our large vapor line, that's the low side, and then we have the high pressure side, which is the red gauge connected to the small liquid line. We also have our temp meter attached to both lines. Now we're going to be using the subcooling method, so we're going to focus on the high side gauge and the temperature on the liquid line. So you know we have our target subcooling posted on the rating plate. In this case, there's only 1 target subcooling rating. Sometimes there's 3. In this case, it's just an average, so it's only 1. We're going to compare our actual subcooling to our target subcooling. So scenario 1, we look at the red gauge and we see we have 366 PSI, and we convert that to a saturated temperature of 110 degrees on this gauge face. Now you can use an app or a calculator, but in this case we're just using the gauge face. Our line temperature for the liquid line is 98 degrees. So we're left with 12 degrees of subcooling. It's 110 degrees sat temp in the middle of the outdoor unit, and then we have 98 degrees on that small liquid line where the liquid's exiting the unit. So we're left with 12 degrees of subcooling, which is the exact amount that's called for on the rating plate. Now we can be within plus or minus 3 degrees of the target subcooling, so even if we had up to 15 degrees of subcooling or as low as 9 degrees of subcooling, we would still be technically accurately charged, but we want to be as close to that target number as possible. So the long and short of this is if you have too low of a subcooling, you're undercharged, and if you have too high of a subcooling, you're overcharged. Scenario 2, we have 319 PSI on the red gauge, and we read a line temp of 95 degrees. If you're going to figure this out on your own, go ahead and pause the video. Okay, so now we have 319 PSI. We convert that to an R-410A saturated temperature of 100 degrees. 100 degrees minus 95 degree line temp, and we're left with 5 degrees of subcooling. So that means that we are low on refrigerant because we're 7 degrees lower than the target subcooling posted on the rating plate. In this case, we would need to see why we're low on refrigerant. Maybe there's a refrigerant leak, but if we were to add refrigerant, it would have to go into the large vapor line, which is the low side while it's running. Now scenario 3. We have 387 PSI on the red gauge, and we have a line temperature on the liquid line of 94 degrees. Go ahead and pause the video now if you're going to solve this on your own. Okay, so we have 387 PSI. We're going to convert that to a saturated temperature of 114 degrees. 114 minus 94 degrees, and we're left with a subcooling of 20 degrees. So that is high. So we are overcharged in this scenario. We have 8 degrees higher of a subcooling than what we should have as posted on the target subcooling on the rating plate. In this case, if we're overcharged, we need to remove refrigerant and recover it out of the small liquid line while it's running. Remember, you can only do a small amount of that because we would accidentally be removing some oil from the system. Scenario 4, we're measuring a pressure of 336 PSI, and we have a line temp on the liquid line of 99 degrees. If you're going to solve this on your own, go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so we have 336 PSI converted to a saturated temperature of 104 degrees minus a line temperature of 99 degrees, and we're left with a subcooling of only 5 degrees. So we have a subcooling that's 7 degrees lower than what our target is posted on the rating plate. I also want you to know that when you check subcooling, you also want to check superheat to make sure that the thermostatic expansion valve is doing its job properly. And of course, we're checking total superheat because we're at the outdoor unit, and we should have somewhere between, say, 8 to 16 degrees of total superheat measured on the blue low side gauge and with the temperature on that large vapor line. So let me just explain how to check total superheat, just so you're aware. In this case, we have a vapor pressure of 114 PSI. We convert that to a saturated temperature of 38 degrees, and we have a line temperature on the vapor line of 52 degrees. So we take the line temperature in this case minus the saturated temperature, so it's 52 minus 38, and we're left with 14 degrees of total superheat. So you may have somewhere between 8 or 16 degrees of total superheat regardless of what your subcooling is, unless you only had like say 1 or 2 degrees of subcooling. In that case, your superheat may be very high then. So I just want you to be aware that when you have a thermostatic expansion valve, it's going to control the superheat as long as you have some subcooling. So you really need to focus on that high side gauge and the temperature on that small liquid line when you're checking the charge with the subcooling method. So if you want to learn more about checking the charge and troubleshooting, make sure to check out our Refrigerant Charging and Service Procedures for Air Conditioning book. We go through all the different scenarios, the rules of thumb, and troubleshooting by reading the pressures, saturated temperatures, our line temps, superheat, subcooling. So make sure you check all that out over at acservicetech.com. We also have our book, our 1,000-question workbook, and quick reference cards available on our website and Amazon. Hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll see you next time at AEC Service Tech channel.